Okay, I am Anapokritos, and this is part 2 to my response to Yoakum's video entitled Atheists Don't Exist, The Point. Engram in their brain. And that's exactly what is required to be able to make the positive assertion that they have no belief. That doesn't even take into consideration any dissociative disorders, self-deceptions, psychological conditions, or neurological disorders that would prevent a person from being able to access any of the information contained in the brain. So the case that an atheist must make to be able to say they have no God belief is increasingly more complex, and the burden of proof on them to be able to make that claim that they have no God belief is inside the context of the realm of natural materialism is inescapably impossible at this point. We simply do not have the technology available to be able to analyze what our beliefs are to the point of being able to eliminate positively that we have no belief in any given proposition. Okay, so now we find ourselves in the interesting position that no matter what the natural materialist or atheist defines the criteria he's willing to accept to prove that a claimed belief is an actual belief, the theist is in a much better position to be able to prove his belief, since he only has to prove the possession of his singular belief, whereas an atheist actually has to prove the non-existence of belief, which ironically is a direct result of a move from the definition of strong atheism to weak atheism, meaning the logically untenable position of strong atheism having to prove that no God exists, to the logically untenable position of weak atheism having to prove that no belief exists. They really didn't do themselves any favor by changing the definition of atheism. No matter whether or not you're a weak or strong atheist, your belief is logically untenable as previously demonstrated. Okay, as for the rather bold assertion, the theistic assertion that atheists don't exist, when the Christian theist is making that assertion, he or she is simply affirming the proposition of the Scripture that say that no person is without belief in God, even if that person suppresses, denies, or distorts that belief. He or she is asserting that no person can actually understand their own beliefs or rationalize their own beliefs outside a belief in God, and only through reconciling themselves with God can they come to understand and justify their own beliefs. The statement God doesn't believe in atheists is a simplified version of that theistic belief. Inside a world where God exists, you see, if he says you believe something, you believe it, even if it's only at a primal subconscious level. There is a belief there. So when a theist issues a challenge to an atheist to prove you are an atheist, it isn't a rhetorical question. He's questioning the rationality behind the epistemology of the atheist. He's asking the atheist, how do you know what you know? On the issue of non-belief in God, the theist simply doesn't accept the atheist's claims that he has concerning his justification of how he knows that he has no belief in God. How do you know you have no belief in God? And can you prove to me that you know you have no belief in God? And if you can't prove to me that you have no belief in God objectively, then how is it that you can say that you have no belief in God, and that you believe you have no belief in God without holding that belief apart from faith? Certainly you can't, as an atheist, appeal to divine revelation as a means to escape from the epistemological chaos you find yourself in, because you're unable to rationally prove the reasons why you hold the beliefs that you do. Whereas a theist worldview provides for direct epistemological revelation and justification, not only for his or her belief, but also for the beliefs and for the understanding of why the atheistic beliefs are fallacious concerning what they believe or don't believe. Well, what's the point at the end of it? What's the point of the statement, atheists do not exist? An atheist cannot acknowledge the rational justification of the theist's position, and the theist will not acknowledge the rational justification of the atheist's position. So what is the point? Are we any closer to having a meaningful dialogue? Perhaps not. Or perhaps the point that Jeff made, that we all hold some beliefs in faith apart from any rational justification is true. Perhaps faith is a ubiquitous part of the human condition. And for those who are willing and are courageous and honest enough to admit it, perhaps that is the common ground that we share, and that is where we can begin an intelligent discussion. As for me, I do not believe atheists exist, though I am perfectly satisfied to call you an atheist if you prefer, because in doing so I am reminded of the contemptible hypocrisy of the atheistic position to condemn faith as irrational, while simultaneously using it to justify your own beliefs concerning yourself. I am unapocryphos, and that is the truth how I see it.
To you I give my life, not just